How to Be Single is directed by Christian Ditter and stars Dakota Johnson, Rebel Wilson, and Leslie Mann. The story is based on the novel by Liz Tuccillo. How to Be Single is very similar to a lot of other romance ensemble pieces where you follow a number of different characters as they're all trying to find love and find themselves in the process. This one follows Dakota Johnson playing the character Alice. She breaks up with her boyfriend Josh near the beginning of the film and moves to New York City in order to try to find herself and also take a new job in the process. The plan is for them to get back together after she finds what she wants in life, but of course things might not exactly work out that way. Along the way, she meets up with her sister, Leslie Mann, who is also going through a bit of a midlife crisis, doesn't want a relationship, but finds slowly but surely that she may want more in life, and what that may be. Rebel Wilson just is Rebel Wilson. She's crazy, and she's partying and having fun doing that. And then we meet the men that each of these women interact with, sometimes multiple men, sometimes just one, and how that affects their relationships. Now, the good news is that there are some good things about How to Be Single. Unfortunately, there are a lot of bad things. We'll start off with the good and be a little positive. For one, this actually isn't a terribly performed movie. This is actually pretty well acted. Dakota Johnson proves that she, once again, is a good actress. She does actually emote pretty well in a lot of these situations. She is kind of going through the same motions throughout most of the film. We'll get into that. But she does a good job handling what she can. Leslie Mann's actually pretty good. She does have some comedic moments like usual, but she actually does pull a decent dramatic performance at times. Again, more on that to come. Alison Brie really doesn't do a lot. She has kind of a quirky character, so she acts a little nuts from time to time, but she really isn't in the movie very often. Rebel Wilson is Rebel Wilson. There isn't a lot to say. For the guys, they aren't really given a lot to work with for the most part. There are mainly 3 that are actually focused on in the movie. Actually, really more like 2, which is kind of 1. We'll get into why this is an issue as well. The character of Josh is played by Nicholas Brahman. He's given a few moments, but yeah, again, not really much to work with, just kind of acting like a typical guy. Jake Lacey plays the character of Ken. He actually is pretty likable in this. He's one of the few likable characters in it. He does well with his moments. He's mostly goofy, not a lot of dramatic scenes, one kind of, I guess. And Anders Holm plays the character Tom, who again he's actually fairly likable as well. He is who he is, very much in his skin. They try to create an arc for him. It doesn't really work. Again, I'll kind of get into that. That's about where the positive things end, really. Now, I will say that Christian Ditter does try to do his best, I guess. No, I can't really say that. This isn't a very well-directed film, really, and I don't know if that's because of the writing or if that's because he didn't really know how to handle his tone. This movie goes through a number of different tonal shifts, and it really can't seem to figure out what it is. At parts, it's a raunchy comedy. At parts, it's chick flick. And then at other times, it seems like it's trying to take itself seriously and make it this bigger theme of finding yourself in life. The problem is, it doesn't do any of these very well. This isn't really a funny movie. Now, again, this is coming from a male perspective. There were plenty of women in the theater, and they found this a lot funnier than I did. I actually did laugh a few times. There are some funny moments of situational comedy or some girl humor that actually does transcend gender. But a lot of these things, like I said, tonally, it just doesn't work. There's too much going on. It tries too hard to do too many different things. The overall message of this movie is that it's okay being single because that could help you find yourself. And that's ultimately the most important thing in life. Finding yourself to be ready for when you have that one person you really want to be with. And hopefully you find that person. That's kind of the overall message, I guess. The problem is there's like 37 messages in this movie, and there's about 6 of them coming from each character. That you can do this, it's okay to do that, but it's not okay to do this, and it's okay to do this, but only when you do this. And then this character is going to tell you something that conflicts with that character. There's so much going on, and it just feels like this is just mashing into each other, and it doesn't work. That's the biggest problem with this. The characters themselves getting back to them while the actors try to make this work. They're completely one-dimensional cliches of themselves. These people really are self-imploding, and they're not making good decisions. And the more you see them make these bad decisions, the more you think, maybe they're just not good people. Sorry. Again, there's a few bright spots, but that's really about it. You're following these unlikable characters in this inconsistent movie that really can't figure out what message it's ultimately trying to send. And in a lot of ways, it kind of sends a harmful one. I understand the overall goal, and there's a decent message in that, but you don't have to be single to find yourself. You don't have to be in a relationship to find yourself. Whenever you figure out what that is, you can be 10 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old. You will. I mean, that's something that people go through in life. I can't give a very good score on this. This wasn't an entirely unlikable movie, but it really isn't good, and I have to grade it based on that. I'm going to give this a 4.2. I can't really recommend this for a lot of people, especially most men who don't gravitate towards female humor. If your wife, girlfriend, whoever wants to go see this, then, this isn't a terrible movie, but it's definitely not a good movie. I understand what the message they were going for, at least I think I do. The problem with this is, while they were trying to make this movie that's called How to Be Single, unfortunately they forgot how to make a good movie in the process. I felt like I should go see it, give you guys an opinion on a wide variety of movies, so there it is. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that routine, and we'll check you guys next time. Thanks.